Hi, welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks. This is the best 15 laptops that you can buy in 2023. 15 finest laptops available now. The top laptops available to you, from ultra portables to powerful editing devices. The best laptop of 2023 may include a range of manufacturers, costs, and features. Here are the remaining top laptops, including 2-in-1 convertibles, gaming laptops, Chromebooks, business laptops running Windows 10, and laptops for schools. The MacBook Air is our current choice for the best laptop of 2023. It's a tool that essentially performs everything correctly. There are no significant problems, although it is not flawless. It is a fantastic choice for work, surfing, and even light gaming. It's becoming more difficult to purchase a subpar laptop, but the finest laptops are those that strike a mix between power, efficiency, portability, and comfort, on top. 2. MacBook Pro 16-inch. A top-notch MacBook for artists. The 16-inch MacBook Pro is a pricey laptop, but we anticipate that consumers will be able to find discounts now that the 2023 model is available. You'll probably be happy with what this machine can achieve, if you can find one. The MacBook Pro 16 performed better than any laptop we've ever used in our benchmarks, which measure a variety of creative tasks like encoding, playback, and export time. The only other devices that have come close to matching this thing in some of our benchmarks are high-end desktop PCs. Besides breaking records, the battery life. The longest-lasting laptop we've ever examined, the 16-inch configuration with the M1 Pro processor lasted 16 hours in my tests. The MacBook Pro 16 performed better than any laptop we've ever used in our benchmarks, which measure a variety of creative tasks like encoding, playback, and export time. The only other devices that have come close to matching this thing in some of our benchmarks are high-end desktop PCs. Besides breaking records, the battery life. 16 inches. The M1 Pro configuration is the longest-lasting laptop we've ever examined, lasting 16 hours during my testing. The M1 Max configuration didn't last as long, but it still carried us through the day at work. The MacBook Pro 16 is the best device for you if you're searching for a laptop that can handle a rigorous workload while also excelling as an entertainment device when you're not working. HP Spectre X36014. The Spectre X36014 isn't simply attractive to look at, it's also fun to drive on a daily basis for work. We found no slowdowns or freezes with the latest 11th Gen Intel processors and Iris Xp integrated graphics quick performance. And the device's battery life averaged 10 hours, which is among the greatest we've ever seen. The Spectre has a spacious 3:2 display on the outside, and if FHD resolution isn't your thing, there are OLED and 1000 nit variants too. Even a bundled stylus is included. It sticks magnetically to the side of the Spectre and is useful if you want to use it as a tablet. Almost every other component of this laptop approaches or outperforms the best convertibles on the market, from its comfy keyboard and slick touchpad to its bass-heavy audio and useful port options. On the surface, the Spectre boasts a spacious 3:2 display, and if FHD resolution doesn't suit your fancy, there are OLED and 1000 nit variants available. Flip side, almost every other component of this laptop approaches or outperforms the best convertibles on the market, from its comfy keyboard and slick touchpad to its bass-heavy audio and useful port options. With the high cost of such an amazing feature set, many buyers will be able to find all they require in a less expensive device. And if you are, the overall, it's the best. 4. Asus ROG Zephyrus G15. One of the lightest 15-inch gaming laptops available is the Zephyrus G15, which weighs just over 4 pounds. The response of the finest mobile processors from AMD and Nvidia, along with a quick 165Hz QHD display, power the G15. The machine handled even the most demanding AAA games at QHD quality throughout our testing. It has successfully maintained its position on our list of the finest gaming laptops. Nearly all of the other features of the G15 are excellent as well, including the audio quality, top-notch keyboard and touchpad, a wide range of ports, and a battery life of more than 8.5 hours per charge. The Zephyr is a high-end gaming computer that can be used as a daily driver, and the Zephyr is a wonderful example of this. Number 5. Asus ZenBook Pro Duo 14. There is a dual-screen laptop that we can actually suggest buying at this point. The dual-screen form factor has in the past been gimmicky, challenging to see, and challenging to use. Yet in the ZenBook Duo 14, Asus has greatly increased the screen's angle, increased its resolution, and added an anti-glare etching to make it genuinely usable. Users of the ZenBook Pro Duo effectively have a small, clear secondary OLED monitor on their keyboard deck thanks to Asus ScreenXpert software. While the keyboard in the front layout won't be for everyone, this innovative device is the best option for buyers who want multiple screens in one. The second screen can also be turned into a giant touchpad, which is helpful since the actual touchpad the device comes with is pretty tiny. The device also comes with high-performance chips from Intel and Nvidia, and a roomy 16:10 primary screen. Number 6. Asus ROG Zephyrus G14. This one requires caution because some of the models are overpriced for what they provide. Ensure that you are purchasing the SKU for $1,649.99 that includes the 6700S GPU. We believe that this particular model is the top 14-inch gaming laptop available today. It has a superb keyboard, touchpad, port selection, and screen, and weighs only 3.79 pounds and is only 0.77 inches thick. It generated reliable frame rates during our tests, and there wasn't much of a performance difference between the 6700S and 6800S models. Also, we had a day's worth of battery life, which is uncommon for gaming laptops. You can even pay more for a computer that features Asus's Anime Matrix if you want an animated grid of colored lights on it. Pets are a thing that they have to have and they can customize it. Amazingly powerful, the ROG Zephyrus G14 is a gaming laptop. While being unexpectedly effective for other chores, the AMD Ryzen 9 processor and GeForce RTX 3060 can deliver strong, fluid graphics performance in games with its QHD display. Number 7. Asus Chromebook Flip CX5. We were pleasantly surprised by Asus Chromebook Flip CX5, a stunning $800 laptop that runs Chrome OS and is just as robust and well-made as many Windows laptops at higher price points. It also has a distinctive smooth texture. It has full laptop specifications, including a 57 watt-hours battery, for swift performance, long battery life, and quick charging. There are numerous ports available, including an HDMI port and a microSD slot. The keyboard is cozy, and the speakers have excellent sound quality. If you want a Chromebook with a large screen, the CX5 from Asus is unquestionably the item to purchase because neither the chassis nor the performance have been compromised.
The CX34 Flip is not just great for gaming, it's the ultimate Chromebook for work, play, and everything in between. Alright, so to sum it all up, the better panel, the keyboard, and the Wi-Fi are essentially free upgrades from Google and Asus.
Hey guys, I'm Tech Chap, and this
Number 8. MacBook Pro 16. The 16-inch MacBook Pro with Apple's brand new M2 Pro or M2 Max is what you want if you're a professional with a demanding workload searching for the finest performance, graphics, and battery life that Apple has to offer. Although models start at $2,499, it is one of the most potent and durable laptops you can purchase. The 2023 MacBook Pro shares many similarities with the 2021 MacBook Pro, including a similar design, a similar array of ports including MagSafe charging, and a superior speaker system. Testing revealed that the M2 Max's battery life is significantly longer than the M1 Max's, which powered the 2021 MacBook Pro 16. The M2 Max outperforms the M1 Max in terms of both multi-core and single-core CPU power as well as graphics performance. It won't matter for typical home and office duties, but it might save you some time if your line of work necessitates a really powerful PC. The 2023 model is listed below the 2021 model because we still think the 2021 vehicles offer greater value for customers who can purchase them at a significant discount, which we anticipate will be possible now that the 2023 model is available. At full pricing, the 2023 model is more of a specialty item for power users for whom the additional CPU and GPU cores are crucial.
But here we are with the new 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros. So what's new? Is it much faster? And is it actually worth upgrading to and paying the new higher price for? So, headline upgrades. Both the new 14 and 16 can be spec'd with either an M2 Pro or an M2 Max chip, which Apple claim will give you roughly 20% faster CPU, 30% faster GPU, and about a 40% boost in neural AI performance. Not too shabby, although I'll put that to the test in a second. According to Apple, we also get an extra hour of battery life, which I would test, except because I've been using this a lot over the last year, the battery capacity has actually gone down to 91%, which is not ideal, although I do use it a lot. So for my full review, I'm going to have to get myself a new one of these to do a direct test. So it's faster, it lasts a little bit longer, probably, and also we have a bit of an upgrade to the connectivity. We get Bluetooth 5.3, which isn't a huge deal, it's a little bit more reliable and more power efficient. We also get Wi-Fi 6E, which gives you access to the 6 GHz spectrum, with up to 2 times the throughput. It has much higher bandwidth than Wi-Fi 6, which we had before, but it does require you to have a Wi-Fi 6E router. So faster, slightly longer battery life, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and HDMI 2.1. Now, most people are excited about the performance boost and how much faster everything is, but for me, it's actually this, the HDMI 2.1 port that I'm most excited about, because let me show you my setup at the moment. This is the old MacBook Pro 16 with the M1 Max. I have it hooked up via HDMI to this asus ROG PG48UQ, a very nice gaming monitor, really. And if I bring up the settings menu, you can see it is limited to 60 Hz, 4K 60, which is fine, but it is not as smooth as the 120 ProMotion that you get on the actual main screen, so it feels like a bit of a step down. But now if we switch over to the new MacBook with its more advanced HDMI 2.1 port, you can see I get the full 138 Hz, or even a variable refresh if I want. So now you can get up to 4K at 240 Hz, this isn't even maxing it out, or probably more likely if you are a creator or a professional, hooking it up to an 8K display, that is an 8K TV, where you can get 8K at 60 as opposed to 8K 30 before, which is, again, a much smoother experience. It's not exactly a run out and buy one of these kind of upgrade, but it's definitely a nice quality of life upgrade. In my little MacBook Pro 2023 wish list video, I had kind of hoped Apple might be able to shave a few grams off the weight. The 16 in particular is a bit of a chunky boy, although I can forgive it given how capable and powerful this thing is. But it does kind of make me think, do I still need the 16-inch version? The performance is basically the same between them, although you do get about 4 hours less battery on the 14, but it's an awful lot more portable. And with Thunderbolt and the new HDMI, whenever I'm here in the studio, I'll output to a big screen anyway. So do I need the 16? And it's a lot more expensive. Now this video is very kindly sponsored by these, the brand new Urban Ears Boo. What a great name. And these guys are a little bit different because they're made from 97% recycled plastics, like bottles, air conditioning units, and other junk. They're trash, basically. And the box is made of fully recyclable cardboard. E-waste is a huge problem, and I have a lot of time for brands who go the extra mile to help the environment. So big points there for sustainability, but we also get 30 hours of playtime. They sound great. We get dual mics on each earbud, so call quality is really good as well. Bluetooth 5.2, touch commands, they're water resistant, charge via USB-C, and the best bit is these guys cost just £69.99, which makes them a whole lot more affordable than most leading brands. But it comes in 6 different flavors, including raw, charcoal black, even cosmic pink. Now, if you're wondering, these regular Boo earphones are open fit, but you also have the option of the Boo tips, and they have a more in-ear fit as they use silicone tips. So if you're after a new pair of earphones, definitely give the Urban Ears Boo or the Boo tips a try, and I'll leave a link in the description below. And for just under 70 quid, I think they're a bit of a bargain. Okay, enough waffling. Let's talk about performance, because that is the main reason you might want to upgrade. And I've had the chance to run a few tests, and my results are pretty close actually to what Apple are claiming. I'm going to run more tests over the coming days and weeks, but to get started, in Geekbench 5, which tests the CPU, we're looking at a 15% uptick in single core and a 20% boost in multi-core, which actually is bang on what Apple claim. Then in the Premiere Pro Puget benchmark test, similarly we're looking at a 20% boost. Now bear in mind, the M2 Max has the same processor as the M2 Pro. I don't know why I'm pointing to that. That has the old M1 Pro. The difference, again, same as last time, is primarily the graphics. We get way more GPU cores, up to 38. It also doubles the memory bandwidth, and the M2 Max allows you to spec up to 96 gigs of their unified memory. Although in this guy, I have 64, same as this. So actually, this is a perfect comparison. M1 Max 64, M2 Max 64. So in terms of graphics, and while I do appreciate these aren't really proper gaming machines, let's boot up Old Faithful's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. The M2 Max is 29% faster than the M1 Max, which is really within the margin of error of exactly what Apple were claiming, a 30% uptick in graphics performance, which is pretty significant. However, in my couple of real-world tests, I didn't see quite the same improvement. In Premiere Pro, exporting a 4K H.264 and also a 4K ProRes edit, it was 9 and 13% quicker respectively, which isn't that impressive. And firing up Blender and seeing how long it takes to render 500 frames of this Ripple demo, the M2 Max was only 16% faster. Couple of thoughts. Firstly, you could potentially get better performance out of this if you spec it with the 96 gigs of RAM, which is very pricey. This tops out at 64, so this isn't fully maxed out. Also, the performance really does come down to your workflow. Are you editing ProRes in Final Cut Pro? Are you using Apple optimized software? And are you really taking advantage of the GPU? If you're not, then the Max is going to be a little bit wasted. And in fact, the performance between these two is not that significant that really it changes my workflow. And I know some of you will shout at me for using Premiere Pro on this and not Final Cut, or more likely DaVinci Resolve actually. I'm going to have to learn that at some point. It doesn't enable me to really do anything that I couldn't do on this. It's all just a little bit quicker, a little bit smoother. It's sort of quality of life improvements, not that revolutionary upgrade we saw going from Intel to M1. What I did notice though, although again I've only had this for a few days, is it does take longer for the fan to kick in on this than it does on this. I was rendering a video side by side at the same time, and this started whirring up much earlier than this. In fact, I barely heard it right up until the end of the export. Although, that's not necessarily a good thing, because this actually, to the touch, was cooler than the new model with the M2 Max. And I don't know really why a little bit of fan noise is a problem. Obviously, it's nice not hearing the fan, but I would rather it kick in and I can hear it. I don't really mind that much if I'm doing something intensive or, a demanding workload and I want the best performance possible and also for it to stay cool. I'd be happy for the fan to come on at least a little bit. So while this, in my experience so far, seems to stay quieter for longer than this, in my brief testing, and it is brief, I need to spend a lot more time with this, it actually got hotter quicker. And that is about it. Same design, same screen, same webcam, keyboard, trackpad, same colors. I'd kind of hoped there'd be a new sort of midnight or starlight version of this like we saw with the new Air, but alas, no. So simply, it's a bit faster, although it depends if you can really take advantage of that performance, and that isn't already good enough for you. HDMI 2.1, which is very nice for me and my setup, although not everyone's going to be taking advantage of that. If you're using a Pro monitor, generally Thunderbolt's still a better option because it charges the laptop as well. Bluetooth 5.3, an extra hour battery life, and that's your lot. Which is absolutely fine. I mean, this is already an incredible laptop, and this is just a nice refinement. But the problem is, in the UK at least, and some other countries, less so in the US, the price has jumped significantly. On the older 2021 models, the UK prices were around £100 less than the US prices. But now, they're 100 to 150 more. In fact, this 16-inch MacBook Pro, just the base model, versus the base model of the old MacBook Pro, is £300 more expensive. Now, I get that's not really Apple's fault. There's a lot of inflation. Our government messed up the country a little bit, so the pound's not worth as much. But that doesn't change the fact that for you and I, if we're going to go out and buy one, it's going to make us think twice about whether this is actually worth it. So while this is objectively a better laptop, it's not the best value for money. And actually what you could do is go onto Apple's website and look at refurbished 14 and 16 2021 models. And right now, a 14-inch M1 Pro is about £1,460, and the 16-inch M1 Pro is £850 cheaper than the new 16-inch M2 Pro. Alternatively, if you're not married to the idea of buying a laptop, I would definitely check out the new Mac Mini with an M2 Pro, which I think is about £1,400. Pair that with a nice monitor, and you've got a really nice system for quite a lot less money. So let me wrap this up, and I don't want this video to come across as too negative, because this was almost the perfect laptop, and this is even more almost the perfect laptop. I love this thing. It's going to be my new daily driver. I appreciate the extra performance and the HDMI 2.1 port. I love this thing. And actually, as it goes, having them both side by side, I do think I prefer the space gray, although, as I say, other colors would have been nice. The problem is, in the UK, it's just a lot more expensive. I don't think it's fundamentally different from the old model, which you can get refurbished or perhaps just from another website for a lot less money. And I think this will do just as well for 98% of you. But what do you reckon? Tempted to upgrade or stick with the old one, or none of the above? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see my full comparisons and reviews coming very soon, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down there. And I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.
Number 9, Dell XPS 13. A small and sturdy laptop is the Dell XPS 13. It is a fantastic option for general-purpose consumers thanks to its lovely chassis, amazing 16:10 display, and great speed. My test computer, an i7 model, completed the work duties I gave it without any lag or heat. Both in gaming and media work, it performed fairly well. There is also a nicer Dell XPS 13 Plus that you can buy that includes a lot of new features that the XPS 13 doesn't, like an OLED display option, a borderless haptic touchpad, and LED touch function buttons. We eagerly forward reviewing that model soon. The XPS 13 from Dell is the pinnacle of the classic thin and light clamshell laptop design. It has a fantastic keyboard and trackpad, is slim and portable, and performs superbly.
Jack connector for your headphones, headset, and there is a DAC built in, a Type-C to Type-A adapter. The reason being is because we have a single port scenario. I don't think I'm going to need to charge it right now, but it does charge quickly, and that's a key when it comes to Intel Evo certification. Got to charge quickly, has to have long battery life, so when you see that badge, you know what you're getting. This has to be one of the nicest examples I've seen in the Evo program, the XPS 13 Plus. Look at this bright aluminum, very sturdy and robust. As we look around, you'll see a Type-C connector on the right-hand side, Type-C connector on the left-hand side, aluminum chassis on the bottom, couple of rubber feet in order to plant this on the table. Subtle Dell logo in this mirror, one-handed operation. Ooh, it's a lovely display as well. We can configure this thing with a 12th gen Intel Core i5 1240p 12-core CPU at the base level, but we can go all the way up to a 14-core 12th gen i7 1280p, boosting up to 4.8 gigahertz. 14 cores in something that is razor thin, especially at the front edge. Something else that you probably noticed, no outline where the trackpad lives, just gives you this really simple and clean look, but it's large and it has strong feedback. It's amazing how good of a job this trackpad does to predict that click and then give you that immediate feedback. This is one of the best examples I've ever tried in the absence of having an actual click. Memory up to 32 gigs of LPDDR5. You can have up to 2 terabytes of M.2 Gen 4 PCIe NVMe SSD storage. You can start at a 13.4-inch FHD Plus 1920 by 1200 60 Hz. No touch, but anti-glare. Next up, you move to a touch version of that same panel. Then you get into a 3.5K 60 Hz OLED with touch, 400 nit capable. Then you go all the way to 13.4 UHD Plus 3840 by 2400 60 Hz touch, 500 nit. All right, so this unit that's been sent over is featuring the FHD panel. So by having this FHD panel, you're looking at substantially more battery life. And that's sort of what you're looking for in an Intel Evo Ultrabook to begin with. This perfect balance of performance and battery life. So I think many people will actually opt for the 1080 display on the 13 inches. I don't know that I've ever seen a laptop quite like this. We have a tremendous screen-to-body ratio going on here, and somehow they fit a webcam in the right location at the top. That's another tremendously slim bezel. Bottom of the display barely has one at all. The sleekest laptop deck in the history of laptops here with this recessed keyboard. So the keys are actually big. This layout is kind of deceiving at first. Kind of getting into it here. You can also tell it's a pretty quiet keyboard. There is a surprising amount of travel considering everything is completely smooth across the entire board. I don't know, there's something about the minimal appearance that's just really appealing. Now, Another thing they've done is the capacitive section at the top. This is where you're going to control your multimedia, your volume, for example. These are capacitive touch controls. Below that section, there is a fingerprint scanner in order to unlock the device. However, we can also use the front-facing camera to do that. I like having options for these things. Kind of a nice location for a fingerprint scanner. Plus, this doubles as your power button. I don't know exactly how it lines up under here, but let's see where I stop. Right around here. There. This big, give or take. You actually don't need a frame there. The trackpad is big enough in relationship to this deck section that I don't think you're going to have any issues with it. Oh yeah, the profile on it is sick. Let's open up a browser and let's test out the speakers on this.
Yeah, well, that's pretty widely published, the fact that if you're a TikTok creator, you're basically building an audience there in order to monetize elsewhere. YouTube, on the other hand, gets you a little bit closer.
Display is pretty nice looking. Sound is quite loud. Where does it fire from? Oh. The speakers are firing this way, but because of the curvature of the laptop, there's space for the table for it to bounce off and give you a really wide stereo separation. Well, you get a sense of like the spatial aspect of it, right? Cool. Okay, yeah, speakers are good. Let's do a quick test of this front-facing camera while we're here. They were able to fit one in. It's a super slim setup. Super slim. Tiny little camera unit over there. And switch to video mode. This is a video sample of the webcam on the Dell XPS 13 Plus. You can have both. You can have an ultra slim bezel and still have your webcam in the right location. No funny business, no down, low, up the nose type of angle. Instead, something a little bit more suitable for your variety of video conferencing, meetings, work, and such. It's actually a quad speaker design. So there's 4 speakers working in tandem. Could have something to do with the volume. Dual fans providing up to 55% more airflow. The keyboard is called Zero Lattice, allowing for that incredibly low profile design. Seamless glass touchpad, dual sensor camera, express sign-in made with low carbon aluminum. It's a touchscreen. Look, you got legit processing power in here. It's pretty crazy. 14-core CPU potential, lots of battery life, a few different screen options, which is nice so you can prioritize for your specific needs. It's crazy what you can get done in a form factor as thin and light as this. You can do actual work here. You can even do a little bit of gaming with Intel Iris. We're living in 2022. This is what laptops look like now. This is the future. It's the Dell XPS 13 Plus.
Hello and welcome. It seems like first generation of
Number 10 Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Nano. The ThinkPad X1 Nano is a typical ThinkPad in many aspects. It's got a robust sturdy chassis, discrete clickers, a real privacy shutter, a red track point in the center of the keyboard, and all kinds of business-specific security and administration capabilities. The Nano, however, is unique since it is the thinnest ThinkPad Lenovo has ever produced. At just 1.99 pounds, it's also among the lightest laptops you can purchase. You're not losing performance to obtain that mind-blowing weight. The Nano maintained up with our severe testing workloads without any fan noise or visible heat. If you want a dependable business laptop that won't take up much space in your briefcase, the one for you is this. Number 10 Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Nano. The ThinkPad X1 Nano is a typical ThinkPad in many aspects. It's got a robust sturdy chassis, discrete clickers, a real privacy shutter, a red track point in the center of the keyboard, and all kinds of business-specific security and administration capabilities. The Nano, however, is unique since it is the thinnest ThinkPad Lenovo has ever produced. At just 1.99 pounds, it's also among the lightest laptops you can purchase. You're not losing performance to obtain that mind-blowing weight. The Nano maintained up with our severe testing workloads without any fan noise or visible heat. If you want a dependable business laptop that won't take up much space in your briefcase, the one for you is this.
If you increase performance on the same chassis, result is louder fan noise from 37.5 decibels to 40.9 decibels under load, to be exact. RAM now goes all the way up to 32 gigs of LPDDR5 instead of max 16 gigabytes LPDDR4X from last year. Same storage options as before, all the way up to 1 terabyte. However, Nano Gen 2 utilizes new PCI Gen 4, which is nice. Second most important thing on the laptop, maybe besides the keyboard, is panel. Luckily, Nano Gen 2 has a pretty one. We have a same 2K panel with 60 Hz of refresh rate and 196 pixels per inch with a maximum brightness of 450 nits. I mean, resolution is more than sufficient, but it would be nice to see some OLED options, especially in this price range. Keyboard hasn't changed at all. It's the same spill-resistant and rather shallow keyboard, for ThinkPad that is. 1.5mm of key travel instead of more typical 1.8. ThinkPad keyboards should be an absolute joy to use, right? Well, not on Nano Gen 2. You see, because of such a small footprint, there's almost nowhere to rest your palms on. And also, it's not a full-size keyboard. And the result of this is, it just feels cramped. And this is also why many people believe that this is not a true ThinkPad anymore. But let's be fair here. Most ThinkPads are moving to 1.5mm of key travel anyway. We also have a same trackpad as last year, but this year it has a glass surface instead of plastic, which is a nice upgrade. Overall, it is a good trackpad, no complaints from my side. X1 Nano Gen 2 finally gets a FHD webcam, and as you can see here, Lenovo had to introduce this reverse notch in order to accommodate this change. Speaker system of 2x2 watt speakers and max loudness of 86 decibels hasn't changed, meaning audio on this laptop is very tiny, and I would highly recommend to use this laptop with dedicated headphones for any media consumption. Then there is a port situation, which is also very limiting. All you get are two Thunderbolt 4 ports. That's it. No HDMI, no SD card reader, no USB Type-A. And this could be very discouraging for some corporations when picking new laptop for their employees. Nano supports LTE 5G connectivity. That is, if you can actually work in an area where you can utilize this. Nano Gen 2 has a slightly larger battery from 48 watt hours to 49.6 watt hours, but it doesn't really make any difference in real life use. Okay, so with all this out of the way, who is this baby laptop actually for? Because I think if you want a decent and reliable portable business machine, you would go with X1 Carbon, right? It has a slightly larger 14-inch panel, better TDP, and these two things alone make Carbon a better productivity machine. You can see more content and you can get more done for less time. Then you add full-size keyboard, more ports, larger battery, and you really start to question, why does X1 Nano even exist? Nano, however, aims at people who don't really care about TDP. They just want the best, ultra-portable laptop out there, which is also very sturdy and tough. It is designed for businessmen and women who spend most of their time on the go. Don't really care about ports, don't need the best panel out there. If this is you, ThinkPad X1 Nano Gen 2 is for you, I suppose. Okay, just for a size comparison, here is a ThinkPad P1 Gen 5, which is pretty chunky, but also mighty powerful. In the middle, we have an X1 Carbon, which is, in my opinion, perfect balance of portability and performance. And then we have X1 Nano, which, as you can see here, really is a baby ThinkPad. Also, I forgot to mention, you can't get Nano with OLED panel. It's IPS only. You are stuck with 60 Hz. On a P16, however, you can get panel with up to 120 Hz refresh rate, and with Carbon, you can get OLED panel. So what I'm trying to say here is if you're gonna go for X1 Nano, you'll have to compromise a lot. Okay, so I have already talked about performance improvements. Let's now look at some synthetic benchmarks. Pause the video if you need to, but it is clear that X1 Nano Gen 2, despite some serious performance increase, is still rather constrained by its small form factor. It seems like Nano Gen 2 comes with way too many compromises to be a good workhorse. However, this all depends on what you actually do on day-to-day basis. If you travel a lot and you need a tough and sturdy but light companion with an excellent webcam and decent performance, then Nano is for you. However, for vast majority, I would recommend ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 10. It's a long name, but this laptop offers more balanced specs and more refined form factor. I wish for price Lenovo would add OLED panel to X1 Nano and at least 90 Hz of refresh rate. It would really improve the user experience. However, battery life might be the limiting factor here. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, don't forget to hit that like button below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
The Book 13 has the same keyboard layout as the company's
Number 11 Razer Book 13. The company Razer is well known for its gaming laptops, but with the release of its new Razer Book 13, it is making a significant statement in the business and productivity world. The Book 13 is a lightweight, beautiful, aluminum-built portable workstation that weighs 3.09 pounds and is only 0.6 inches thick. This laptop is even more amazing on the inside. Our Premiere Pro media export test revealed that this laptop's potent CPU performed better than any other Windows laptop of its size. Even though the Book 13 isn't a gaming laptop, it offers some of the best integrated graphics gaming performance I've ever seen. It can even run Shadow of the Tomb Raider at over 30 frames per second. The Razer Book 13 is an exceptional laptop all around, combining a premium exterior with potent productivity performance, even though its exorbitant price makes it unsuitable for everyone.
For remapping keys or creating macros. You can also use its Hypershift feature to set up shortcuts for doing things like opening a specific application, controlling media, or triggering a mouse function. Since this is a small, slim premium laptop, you might be expecting to find only USB-C ports and maybe a headphone jack on the Book 13. It bucks that trend, though, by including a full-size HDMI port, a micro SD card slot and a USB-A port. It also has a 3.5mm audio jack and two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports. Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1 are available for wireless connections. Unlike much of its competition, the Book 13 has 4 speakers, and they sound good for a laptop this size. It also has a 4-mic array to help pick up voices better for video chats. Unfortunately, Razer stuck with a 720p webcam, which is still the standard for laptops, even premium ones like this. The Book 13 doesn't have any privacy features for blocking the webcam or muting the mics, but it does have an IR cam for signing in with facial recognition.
Welcome to Top Down Tech, where we take a look at tech from the top to the bottom. Today I'm going to be sharing my real-world user experience with the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED, and I will be telling you what it can and can't do. If you want to check out a quick unboxing video, I already did that on my Filipino channel, Pinoy Tech Dad, but basically what's included is the laptop sleeve, the 65-watt USB-C charger, and the ZenBook 14 OLED itself. And if by the end of the video you feel inclined in getting the ZenBook 14 OLED, all of the links will be in the description box. So let's get straight to the point. There are 2 main reasons for you to get the ZenBook 14 OLED. It's gorgeous OLED display with 2K resolution and 16:10 aspect ratio, plus its smooth 90 Hz refresh rate. And the other reason to get it is for its very slim and compact design. And let me tell you guys, Asus magnificently delivers on both aspects. The display is nothing short of amazing. My video might not even do it justice, but here's a quick side-by-side of the ZenBook 14 OLED with an IPS panel laptop. But it's not only with a side-by-side comparison where you'll notice the beautiful display, because every content you consume with it just looks more vibrant than your regular laptop display. I've had an OLED TV since 2018, and having the same quality of display on a portable computer just completes the whole experience of being immersed in OLED technology. I mean, you already have OLED phones, OLED monitors, so why not an OLED laptop, right? I can wax poetic about how beautiful an OLED is, but you truly won't be able to appreciate it unless you see it in person. So for those looking for a gorgeous display with an infinite contrast, a 90Hz refresh rate, and a rare 16 by 10 aspect ratio, the ZenBook 14 OLED should already shoot up at the top of your choices. Now, just a quick caveat though, the display will look really reflective as with most OLED displays with glossy panels. So don't say I didn't warn you. Aside from the display, I've grown accustomed to the very slim and lightweight profile of this ZenBook. For a few years now, I've been bringing a gaming laptop with me every time I travel. But since I've had a child and we need to pack and carry more things when we travel as a family, the lighter ZenBook has been a heaven sent. And as expected, I lose the chance to play AAA games on the ZenBook because this isn't really designed to play games. I mean, you have the Asus ROG line for that, but I can still actually play MOBA games like Dota 2 on the lowest Graphica settings, which is enough for me just to scratch that gamer itch each time that I'm away from my desktop. But overall, the ZenBook 14 OLED is a great performer when it comes to productivity due to its 12th gen Intel processor. So I do have the i5 with me, but it also depends on what programs you use. The typical office applications and even Photoshop will run smoothly on this machine. However, once you switch to applications that require the power of a graphics processor, then this is when you'll see the ZenBook 14 OLED finally struggling. You can still edit and render videos in 1080p, but be warned that your machine will truly hate you if you use heavy effects on your video. One thing that amazed me with the ZenBook 14 OLED is how powerful the speakers are for its size. Movies and TV series dialogues are clear and crisp, so even if you forget to bring your earphones, you'll still legitimately enjoy watching content.
The most difficult battles are fought within, but this battle, you will not fight alone.
Battery life on the ZenBook 14 OLED isn't its strongest point. If I'm being honest,
Number 12 Asus ZenBook. You don't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to buy a portable laptop with a top-notch display. The latest Ryzen 6000 series processors power the powerful yet portable Asus ZenBook S13 OLED, which is a lot of fun to use. The ZenBook S13 is only 2.43 pounds thick and has a sturdy build quality in addition to a great, quick processor. It includes a convenient LED number pad incorporated into its touchpad. Additionally, the OLED touch display is bright and roomy, and it has a nice appearance. You can still navigate with the touchpad if the numpad is pulled up, which always impresses me.
in order to keep it at its optimal state if ever you're plugged in the whole time. Now, another thing that didn't quite impress me too much is the available ports. So you only have one USB-A port and two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports. A micro SD card slot is also available, and there's also a regular HDMI. Finally, there are two major things that you should be aware about when considering the ZenBook 14 OLED. And number one is that the RAM is soldered and there's no extra RAM slot. So you are stuck with whatever configuration you pick at the beginning. And number two, There is no other M.2 SSD slot, so you can't expand the storage. You can, however, replace the default M.2 SSD to a bigger one if you feel the need to do so. But the easier and cheaper alternative is just to get an external portable SSD instead, like the Orico Montage. It's fast, lightweight, and you can bring it along with you if you need extra storage. It's a plug-and-play device, and it comes in many different configurations as well. And I'll give it bonus points as well for the 2-in-1 USB cable that comes with it. Anyway, the Asus ZenBook OLED 14 is a great ultrabook option even in early 2023. If you can find one at a great discount, it's something I can highly recommend to you if you're looking for a great looking display, a slim and lightweight laptop, and something that's great for productivity applications that don't require a discrete graphics processor. If you're in the Philippines, the ZenBook 14 OLED has a starting price of 59,995 pesos. And that's gonna be it for this video. If you want to check out more cool stuff, check out my other videos on the channel. And until the next one, keep safe and have a great day.
Lenovo Chromebook Duet 3 Review. Even though the price is low, you get a water-resistant detachable keyboard. However, you may be disappointed once you actually use it. Spent the whole day using the Chromebook Duet 3, from early morning to late night. Not ideal for a complete remote workload, but terrifically suitable for leisure and entertainment purposes. Despite not being as high-tech as the OLED-equipped Duet 5, I'm confident it will be much more practical for students and casual users. Prefer being on this than a cheap Windows laptop anytime. The first thing that stood out to me was how great Duet's keyboard is. We typically
Number 13 Lenovo Chromebook Duet 3. For those on a tight budget, the Lenovo Chromebook Duet 3 is a fantastic, compact laptop. It includes a magnetically detachable keyboard that is simple to put on and take off. The pricing does not include a stylus, however the screen does allow USI styluses. However, the kickstand, magnetic back cover, and keyboard are all included in the cost. This laptop can be used every day for simple tasks and relaxation. It boasts an 11-inch screen that is clear and bright, and the keyboard and touchpad are surprisingly comfortable. The battery lasts almost the entire day. The real appeal of this device, however, is its portability. It weighs only 2.09 pounds when the keyboard is attached, making it easy to carry around and use when needed. The 11-inch Lenovo Chromebook Duet 3 is a top-notch inexpensive laptop. The kickstand and keyboard are included in the price point 5.
One should be aware of its limitations due to the 11-inch screen. When attempting to view two windows side by side, we were mostly reducing the window size to 50% for visibility. We could sense the processor lagging a bit in this load. It would manage Chrome without any issue, but then when we were using 5 to 6 different apps at once and quickly switching between them, we became quite frustrated. With Zoom calls, in particular, it faced lots of trouble. The PWA crashed on initial attempts to join an online briefing. Additionally, even after accessing the call, it took time for the shared screen to display properly and for other applications to move at a tolerable pace at the back end. The Duet has one USB-C 3.2 Gen 1 port on each side, which is typical of thin and light laptops. This meant we had to connect my peripherals wirelessly since it couldn't accommodate all my devices while plugged into power. Plus, there's no headphone jack either. As soon as we left work, none of the issues mattered anymore. To unwind, we went out for coffee with friends and had a great time using this device. It easily fits in my bag, which meant no need for any backpack. The scale of the device was perfect for me when we stopped in a cafe since we had a limited amount of space on the table with my drink, pastry, and laptop all needing to be there. Had my Duet been any bigger, it would have been difficult to manage, but was able to happily fit it where we needed it. The touchpad on this device has an impressive click feedback and was comfortable for scrolling and gesture use, even for people with larger fingers. Fingerprints were also effectively resisted, resulting in a smooth finish by the end of the day. The Duet coped well with this leisurely work, responding quickly and without any lag. Plus, its robust keyboard and the high-quality screen were just an added bonus. The Duet is a great cost-effective buy as long as you are aware of your needs.
This is the new Surface Laptop
Number
5
14,
that just
Microsoft
recently
Surface
started
Laptop
shipping.
5
It's a
13.5
laptop
inch.
designed
The
by
Surface
Microsoft,
Laptop 5
my
resembles the
previous
Surface
employer.
Laptop 4 in terms of
I
appearance
guess we
and feel
parted on
quite
good
a bit.
terms because they were
The
willing to
Laptop
send this
5,
free loaner
like its
unit to me.
predecessor, is slender,
We're going
light,
to look
and
at,
solidly
is this
constructed with
laptop any
Microsoft's
good?
distinctively
And should
attractive
you
design.
consider getting it?
The Laptop
Let's
5
find
now
out.
supports
Within the
Thunderbolt 4,
box itself,
but
you
unlike
get
last
the
year,
laptop,
there are only
a power
Intel models
supply,
available.
and there's also a quick start
There are no
guide along
AMD
with
models.
safety and warranty
The
information.
12th general processors give
You wouldn't
adequate
want to go without
performance
that.
internally,
If
especially
you've
for
never looked at
single-core
the
activities.
Surface line of laptops before,
In a nutshell,
these are
paranoid
premium
is a
laptops.
term used to describe
It has
something
an
that is not
all-aluminum
normal.
case, which
The
reminds me a little bit of the MacBook.
13-inch display also
If
gave our
you've ever
jaws a
used
really
a
sharp
cheap
appearance.
plastic laptop before,
The battery
you'll
life,
really
which is
appreciate the
adequate but
difference.
not
The
outstanding and
laptop
has
itself
decreased
is
from
very
last year's
small and
performance,
lightweight.
was our main gripe.
It comes in right under 3
A3,
pounds.
2
This
display,
is really
a variety
perfect
of
for
color
on-the-go
options,
productivity.
and a small,
so say
light
you're an
laptop
office
are all
worker
features
going
of
off
the
to a meeting,
Microsoft Surface
or maybe
Laptop
you're a
5.
student going to work on a
There are
class
12
project.
general Intel
It fits very
processors in
nicely
every
within
model.
just your standard backpack. The one downside of having such a small size is, especially if you're working for long periods in front of your laptop, you can start to feel some strain. But you can also dock it and connect it to a larger monitor. On the left-hand side of the laptop, we have all of our ports. First, you have a USB-A 3.1 port. And this is a slightly older technology, but I think all of us have devices that use this, so it's nice to see it included. Next to that, we have a USB-C or Thunderbolt port, and you can use this to charge your laptop, you could use it to transfer data, or you could even use it to connect to an external monitor. Next to that, there's a 3.5mm headphone jack, just in case you don't have Bluetooth headphones. On the other side of the laptop, there's the Surface Connect port, and you can use this to charge your laptop, or you could also use it to connect to the Surface docking station. And this is a proprietary port. In the future, it'd be nice to see this move to USB-C, since that would give you another USB port. Now, overall, there aren't that many ports for this laptop, so especially when you're on the go, you're somewhat limited. But as long as you have mostly Bluetooth devices and you're not bringing that many accessories along with you, that should be more than sufficient. And when you're back at your desk, you can dock it, which gives you far more ports. The screen on this laptop is 13.5 inches, but there is also a 15-inch version. And overall, I think the screen looks fantastic. You can't detect any of the pixels. The one thing to call out though is the screen size uses a non-standard aspect ratio of 3:2. The advantage of this is you get additional vertical space. And that tends to work well when, say, you're composing a Word document, or maybe you're working on a spreadsheet. But let's say you're watching a video on YouTube, you'll get those black lines on the top and on the bottom. One thing I also like about this screen is it's a touch screen, and I frequently find myself reaching to the screen to move around. Surrounding the laptop screen, you have a fairly large bezel, but you do have your camera, 2 microphones, and other sensors integrated into it. Now, looking at the microphones, you have 2 of them, so you would expect them to be pretty good. But when I tested them, they didn't sound that great. Here's what they sounded like.
This is what the microphone sounds like on the Microsoft Surface Laptop 5.
To use a microphone, let's say you're joining a meeting, you'll probably want to use a headset with an integrated microphone instead. Along with the microphones, there's also another sensor called the Dolby Vision IQ. And this adjusts the colors on the screen based on the ambient lighting. And this is similar technology to what you find on many cell phones. So it's nice to see this make it to a laptop. There's also the Windows Hello sensor, which helps you log into your computer very quickly. And you really start to appreciate this one when you think back to the days where you had to type in a password manually. It also has a built-in webcam, but unfortunately it's only 720p. And here's what that looks like in my studio with very nice lighting. Especially with working from home, it would have been nice to see a better and higher resolution webcam. The keyboard felt good to type on. It provided good feedback. At the very top, you have a power button. You could adjust the volume, you could adjust the brightness. You could also set the backlighting on the keys, and there are 3 different brightness levels that you could set it to. Under the keyboard, you have the trackpad, and I felt like it was a good size. It was big, but not too big to get in the way when you're typing. Next, we're going to look at inside the machine. The laptop comes with a 12th generation Intel Core i5 or i7 Evo processor. So what does Evo mean? Well, Evo balances battery life with performance, so it's really good for on-the-go productivity. It'll handle productivity software like Microsoft Office or web browsing or writing emails. It'll handle all of those without a problem. It can also take care of some very light gaming or video editing. But the moment you want to, say, play AAA titles with high frame rates, or if you want to do some heavy video editing or maybe even fluid simulations, this processor is probably not the best match for that. So it really depends on what your needs are. The graphics card is in the same boat. It uses an Intel Iris Xe graphics, and that's integrated into the CPU. It handles things like productivity software, web browsing, or watching videos well, but here again, if you're planning on doing heavy gaming or video editing, this graphics card is not the best for that. So here too, it depends on your needs. For the memory, you can get anywhere between 8 gigabytes all the way up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. And for the storage space, you can get anywhere between 256 gigabytes all the way up to 1 terabyte. And for both of these, the more you can get, the better. Of course, that will cost you. The laptop also includes integrated speakers, and at least when I played some videos and I listened to the audio, it sounded like it had some good volume and the quality was decent for speakers in a laptop. Of course, if you want the best possible audio quality, you'll probably want to use some headphones. The laptop also comes with Windows 11, which overall is a pretty decent and solid operating system. Now that we've looked at the laptop, you might be wondering, well, is this laptop right for you? And
Number
I think it really
14
depends
Microsoft
on
what type of
Surface
user
Laptop
you
5
are.
13.5
If you're
inch.
an office
The
worker
Surface
or
Laptop
a
5
student
resembles the
and you want to be
Surface Laptop
productive
4
while
in
on the
terms of
go,
appearance and feel quite
this
a
is
bit.
a really high quality
The
laptop
Laptop
and
5,
also a
like
solid
its
choice.
predecessor, is
But
slender,
on the other
light,
hand,
and
let's say
solidly
you're a
constructed with
gamer or you're a
Microsoft's distinctively
creator.
attractive design.
There are probably other
The
laptops
Laptop
that
5
better
now
meet your
supports
needs.
Thunderbolt 4, but unlike
The
last
price
year,
of this
there are
laptop
only
ranges
Intel
between
models
$900
available.
up to
There are no
$2,160
AMD
depending
models.
on how you customize
The
the
12th
machine.
general
And
processors
for
give
what you
adequate
get and what
performance
else is in the
internally,
marketplace,
especially for
that's pretty
single-core
competitive.
activities.
Let me
In
know
a
down below in
nutshell,
the comments, what do
paranoid
you
is a
like
term
or
used to
dislike
describe
about this
something
laptop?
that is not normal.
To watch more
The
videos like this
3,
one, please consider
13-inch display
subscribing,
also
and
gave
I
our
will see
jaws a
you
really
in the
sharp
next video.
appearance. The battery life, which is adequate but not outstanding and has decreased from last year's support. Number 15 Razer Blade 16. For gamers with extremely deep pockets, the Razer Blade 16 is a fantastic choice. With its top-tier NVIDIA and Intel CPUs, it can run the majority of the most demanding games of the moment at their highest settings with any effects you desire. There isn't much to complain about when Razer's characteristic stylish chassis and fun but inconspicuous RGB keyboard are added. Games look fantastic as well, so it's not just the performance that shines out. A tiny LED screen is an optional feature of the Blade. The panel not only produces deep, vibrant colors, but it also includes a dual-mode capability that lets you quickly switch between native UDH plus 120Hz and FHD plus 240Hz modes. As some of the earlier entries on this list demonstrate, you don't need to spend this much on a gaming laptop in order to have a fantastic gaming experience. Nonetheless, this is the option for you if you're seeking for the greatest performance and display you can get in a 16-inch form size. For a luxury price, you get a luxury gaming experience. The Razer Blade 16 has a 16-inch micro-LED display, an RGB keyboard, and hardcore CPUs from Intel and NVIDIA, making it the greatest laptop available for playing the most demanding games. It's simply expensive. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos.